Hi, Anne-Marie. It's Lisa Hogan again and Ryan Holmes. And in this video, we're going to show you what happens when those fill-in-the-blank answers don't show up and you're the classroom teacher and you have to deal with it, because this has also become pretty problematic. So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan.
So we're going to start off by going into my PE1 Block 2 Red, and that one actually happened pretty quick. We're hoping it would be slow, but it didn't. Normally going into classes is very, very slow. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go into my View folders so I can get into the edit portion of my Activity 2.1. Now when I go to edit this portion, you're going to notice that under editing the questions, there's 3 fill in the blanks, number 1, 2, and 3. If I go to edit any one of these questions, what I'm noticing the most is that my answer is now gone. The beginning portion of the statement says a goal that can be usually completed within 2 weeks from starting it is called a blank term goal. The correct answer should be short term, but it isn't there. And the biggest problem with this is now that kids have started taking it, we notice that this assessment is now locked. Because the assessment is locked, I can't even edit this to change the answer whatsoever. So from my knowledge, what we're looking for is some way to rectify these questions and answers just randomly disappearing, because I'm going to show you what's going to happen, or the process I have to go through in order to get it back. And hopefully there's an easier way, or we can come up with a way that's a little bit different. So to go back to where we were, what I have to do first is enter into Activity 2-1. And I'm going to have to export this activity into my eLocker. I believe I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. I just want to double check real quick. Yes, it is. It's right there. I've done this a couple times, and this is how I know. I'm going to scroll back, and now because of that, I'm going to go into edit the activity. Notice how, again, the assessment is locked. However, I'm going to delete this activity completely. I've already exported it to my eLocker, so it is there. And then from this point, I'm going to create a new activity, import it from my eLocker, and there it is. We'll import this activity by itself. Once the activity actually goes in, you'll notice that it is not locked anymore. So I can come down, click on the edit of my fill in the blank question, and I can actually type in the correct answer, which should be short. Again, I'll save at the end of that. And keep in mind, this is the 3rd time I have done this for this class. The other problem that I'm seeing up, there's all of the fill in the blanks are like that. I'm going to show you a multiple choice answer just to show you the answers are there on all of the other questions, but for some reason they're not there for fill in the blanks. So with this question, we see, where am I going here? Oh, there's a question. If you run 7 days a week, you are not overly tired at the end of your long runs, you should increase frequency, increase intensity, or increase time. The correct answer for that would be intensity. It is marked. I'm just going to hit save just because you can never be wrong by saving. And so the answers are there for all the rest of them, but those 3 fill-in-the-blank questions seem to be gone. Now, when I go back to this class, and if I'm trying to make this activity public to them once again, the problem that happens is for the kids that have already taken it, and this happened twice where about 75 or 80% of the class had taken the activity, they had submitted it, they had their grades already done, they were able to review their results, and then randomly the questions are gone. A couple of other students try to take it, and now they can't because it shows up with a problem that we showed you on the previous video. So now that this is done all over again, a kid can come into his or her class, but they have to retake Activity 2.1. Their grades are now gone, and everything that shows that they've taken this is also gone at the same time. The biggest thing for me is when I, as a teacher, go into the progress overview for the students, it shows their assessment submissions. Although they may have submitted it, they have to do it again. And this is their third time having to take it, and some of the kids are starting to complain a little bit about having to do this over and over again. And you can see there should be 4 submissions for each student at this point, and there are very few students that actually have 4 submissions. Most kids only have 2, some kids have 3, and this is a problem that we've been running into a lot. The last thing I'm going to say about the submissions is I base a lot of my my grade reports on the submissions, on whether they've turned things in or not, and looking at their grades. Progress reports just came out, and there were instances where a couple of students received an unsatisfactory grade because they had not submitted, and I did not have their grades as I'm going through all my classes, and that turned into a situation with parents calling and tying up a lot of my time and trying to diffuse a lot of situations. So we're looking for something that will help us keep the answers so they don't go away in the middle of an activity, or the other possibility is finding a way so that once an activity becomes published or featured, that it does not lock, or that I can keep the grades in after the kids take them, because it's very frustrating for those kids taking it repeatedly.
All right, so thanks, Ryan. Okay, and now you're gonna go to share.
I got it.
Oh, yeah, it's done.